Get mantra and meditation MP3s at JasonGallant.ca.
When you remember the silence within you, when you fully experience it, remember it. Remembering is a good word because it's always been there. It's always the background behind all of the noise that you experience in your life. If I take this leaf right now, first we'll start with silence. And then there's sound. But it started with silence, you see? Your awareness started with the silence. And then you can recognize different sound. So all of the flavors of your life are sounds. Some of them are spiritual sounds. Some of them are the sounds of suffering, whether they come through thought or emotion. But they are all vibration, and vibration and sound are the same. So when you remember the silence, when you remember and experience it, it's easier for you to discern what to do with different sounds. Which is why we always say, return back to here, return back to source. Remember who you are. Remember the source of who you are, the immortal self that is never born and never dies. So then at some point you start to play with the different sounds and start to say, oh, okay, this sound belongs here, that sound belongs there. And then your life starts to become, well, let's just say a different expression of the self. You start to be able to express or to play in this reality in a much more proficient way. Always remembering that the sound is not silence. It's a movement of the silence. It's one way of looking at it. The problem is with the ego or the mind is that it identifies with sound and says, that's who I am. Never realizing that it is bound now by that one note instead of using the entire symphony. So there's limitation in just using one note. One note isn't a song. One note really isn't a song. It's the blending of notes and how they go together and the rhythm and all these different variables that make a beautiful composition. So you can become the grand composer by remembering that you are the silence, by experiencing this, by remembering you are not your thoughts. You are not the emotions that move over you or move through you. You are not sensations either. You are this. Before anything happens, you are this. Before the first thought happens, you are this. What you do afterwards is up to you. But when you remember that you are this, there's a certain amount of fulfillment that goes with that. And it goes quite deep. When you are influenced by that fulfillment, then your expression will be much different than a person that thinks that they are just this one note, and that one note might be the note of suffering itself. So your expression can be of many notes, many colors. Those are also notes. Sometimes conflict, sometimes peace. There can be many different expressions. But as long as you remember the source of who you are, And remember to return to that, to experience that. To remember that's the foundation on which everything else sits. Then inevitably your expression will be influenced by the divine, by this perfection, by this natural state. The natural state of all things where all the laws of the universe begin. And that goes beyond religion. So I hope this helps you on your spiritual journey. Take care for now.